Why do you keep attracting the wrong people? It's a question almost everyone asks at some point. Maybe you've been in relationships that left you exhausted. Maybe every friendship ends in betrayal. Maybe every person you trust eventually disappoints you. After enough painful experiences, it starts to feel like you're cursed. You begin to wonder if all good people are already taken, if everyone is selfish, or if you're simply unlucky. But what if the problem isn't that you're attracting the wrong people? What if you're accepting the wrong people? There's a huge difference. Most people think attraction is random. They believe toxic people somehow magically find them. But attraction isn't the biggest issue. Toxic people approach almost everyone. Manipulative people don't have a special radar that only points toward you. They test boundaries with many people. The difference is who lets them stay. The people in your life are often a reflection of the standards you enforce, the wounds you haven't healed, and the beliefs you have about yourself. If you don't understand that, you'll keep repeating the same story with different faces. One of the biggest reasons people attract unhealthy relationships is because they confuse familiarity with compatibility. Think about your childhood. The environment you grew up in becomes your definition of normal. If love was inconsistent, inconsistency feels exciting. If affection had to be earned, you'll chase people who make you work for basic respect. If chaos surrounded you growing up, peace may actually feel boring. Your nervous system isn't looking for what's healthy. It's looking for what's familiar. That's why some people leave healthy relationships because they say there's no spark. The spark they miss is actually anxiety. The butterflies aren't always love. Sometimes they're warning signs. Sometimes they're your body recognizing an emotional pattern you've survived before. Healing means learning that calm doesn't mean boring. Respect doesn't mean a lack of passion. Consistency doesn't mean someone isn't interested. Real love often feels unfamiliar to people who've only known emotional instability. Another reason you keep choosing the wrong people is because you ignore red flags in the hope that your love will change them. You see potential instead of reality. You fall in love with who someone could become instead of accepting who they are today. You become attached to their promises instead of their actions. This is dangerous because potential doesn't build relationships, character does. Anyone can promise they'll change. Anyone can apologize. Anyone can say the right words. But consistent behavior reveals the truth. Never build a relationship on someone's future version. Build it on who they repeatedly show themselves to be. Another painful truth is that low self-worth attracts poor treatment. Not because bad people can smell insecurity, but because insecurity struggles to enforce boundaries. When you don't believe you deserve better, you'll tolerate almost anything. You'll excuse disrespect. You'll overlook lies. You'll forgive the same mistake over and over. You'll stay because you're afraid nobody else will choose you. Fear becomes the prison that keeps you accepting less than you deserve. Confidence changes everything. Confident people aren't perfect. They simply know that being alone is better than being repeatedly disrespected. They understand that loneliness is temporary. Settling can last for years. Many people also mistake attention for love. Someone texts you constantly. They compliment you. They want to spend every moment with you. It feels amazing. But attention isn't commitment. Attention isn't respect. Attention isn't emotional maturity. Some people love the excitement of chasing someone, but lose interest once they've caught them. Others crave validation more than connection. They don't actually want you. They want the feeling you give them. If you build your relationships on attention instead of values, you'll continue attracting emotionally unavailable people. Healthy relationships are built on trust, honesty, consistency, accountability, and mutual respect, not excitement alone. Another reason is that many people are terrified of being alone. Silence forces them to face themselves. Instead of healing, they immediately jump into another relationship. They choose distraction over growth. The problem is that desperation clouds judgment. When you're desperate for love, you'll ignore obvious warning signs because the fear of being alone feels worse than the fear of making another mistake. But here's the irony. The people who become comfortable being alone often attract healthier relationships, not because they suddenly become lucky, because they stop accepting relationships that don't meet their standards. Being alone teaches you something powerful. Your happiness cannot depend entirely on another person. A relationship should add to your life. It shouldn't become your entire life. Many people also struggle because they become addicted to fixing broken people. They become therapists instead of partners. They constantly rescue. They constantly sacrifice. They constantly give more than they receive. Eventually, they become emotionally exhausted. Here's something important to remember. It's not your job to save someone who doesn't want to save themselves. Support people, encourage people, love people, but don't carry responsibilities that belong to them. Love should never require you to abandon yourself. Another overlooked reason is that you don't actually know what you want. You know what you don't want. You don't want lies. You don't want cheating. You don't want disrespect. But have you clearly defined what you do want? What values matter most? What qualities are non-negotiable? How should someone communicate? How should conflict be handled? What kind of future are you building together? If you don't define your standards, emotions will make your decisions. And emotions can be incredibly unreliable. The strongest boundaries are built long before temptation arrives. Another mistake people make is ignoring their intuition because attraction feels stronger. Deep down, something doesn't feel right. The excuses don't add up. The stories keep changing. Your peace disappears whenever you're around them. But instead of listening, you convince yourself you're overthinking. Sometimes intuition isn't paranoia. Sometimes it's wisdom built from experience. Learn to listen to your body. Pay attention to how someone makes you feel after spending time with them. Do you feel peaceful or emotionally drained? Do you feel respected or constantly confused? Healthy relationships don't leave you questioning your worth every week. Another truth many people avoid is that you teach people how to treat you. Every time you excuse disrespect, you communicate that it's acceptable. Every time you stay after repeated betrayal, you lower your own standards. Every time you sacrifice your needs to avoid conflict, you tell others your boundaries don't matter. People don't always rise to your expectations. They often settle at your boundaries. That's why boundaries aren't walls. They're filters. They remove people who only benefited from your lack of limits. Remember this: the right people won't be offended by healthy boundaries. The wrong people usually will. Growth also requires taking responsibility, not blame. Responsibility. There's a difference. You're not responsible for someone else's lies. You're not responsible for someone else's manipulation, but you are responsible for recognizing patterns and making different choices moving forward. Healing begins when you stop asking, "Why does this always happen to me?" and start asking, "What is this experience trying to teach me?" That single question changes everything. Pain becomes wisdom. Failure becomes experience. Heartbreak becomes preparation. Every unhealthy relationship teaches you something if you're willing to learn instead of simply repeating it. The goal isn't to become cold. The goal isn't to stop trusting people. The goal is to become wiser, to love with open eyes instead of closed ones, to choose people based on character rather than chemistry alone, to understand that peace is more valuable than excitement, that respect is more valuable than attention, that consistency is more attractive than empty promises. The truth is, there are good people in this world. There are emotionally healthy people. There are honest people. There are loyal people. But if you haven't healed the beliefs that tell you chaos is love, you'll keep overlooking them while chasing familiar pain. Your future relationships depend less on finding better people and more on becoming the version of yourself that refuses to settle for less. The moment your standards rise, your choices change. When your choices change, your relationships change. And when your relationships change, your entire life begins to change. If this video helped you see your relationships from a different perspective, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video, and leave a comment sharing the biggest lesson you learned today. Stay tuned for more videos that will challenge your thinking, strengthen your mindset, and help you become a better version of yourself.